First of all, thanks for the team to provide for giving me this opportunity, and I'm very thankful to Dr. Vinayak sir who has given me this opportunity at the last moment. So myself, I'm Dr. Soumya, and I am an assistant professor in the subject of anatomy, and I am from Maharashtra, Sangamner. Next slide, please. So my topic today is role of Manas Prakruti, or you can say personality traits, and Trigunatmak Ahara on mental health with special reference to Vyadik Shamatva or immunity. It means that we have to Ayurveda actually is nothing but a more of a preventive measure. So when we talk, when I want, I'm what I'm trying to say is my topic is basically to we have to first decide what is the prakriti or what is the nature of a person, and then accordingly we can advise that particular person with the kind of diet he or she should eat, and accordingly with the help of that particular diet he or she can fight against the diseases. Next slide, please. So there are three terms over here talking about Manas Prakruti. The word Manas is nothing but mind, but we are aware of these three terms, that is brain, mind, and mental, and we usually get confused between these three terms. So next slide, sir. Talking about the brain and the mind, the brain, it's a physical thing. We know it's a physical thing, and it acquires a physical space in a body, and it's the center of all the function. Whereas mind, it's not a physical thing, and it does not acquire any physical space. But most importantly, it creates emotion, enables consciousness, perception, thinking, judgment, and memory. In a short, it aids the brain. Next slide, sir. When we talk about the word mental, we don't have a specific definition for the word mental, but we can say that it is an ability of the brain to function without any problems or any disorders. Next slide, sir. Now, for example, if there are two patients with identical condition, and if they are given the exactly same medicine, but the effects are not similar, why is it so? Next slide, sir. The effect doesn't seem to be similar. Is the reason is most of the illnesses or the diseases are psychosomatic. Is the immune response towards the disease is dependent on both the psyche, that is the mind of the person, and the body of the person. That is why when we give exactly same medicine to two different person, the effect is not similar, because some action of the immunity is dependent upon the mind of the person, the manas prakruti of that person. Next slide, sir. So in a nutshell, what we can conclude is that what causes each brain to become an individual here is, though the composition or the physical composition of the brain is similar in every individual, it's the mind that helps in distinguishing people from each other. Next slide, sir. When we when we consider the word manas prakruti, I try to divide the word into mana, that is mana, or it is also known as mind or psyche, and prakruti differently. The word mana, or your mind, it's an internal organ of perception, and it is an instrument through which we can experience, and it is atomic, and it is eternal. We cannot see it. Next slide, sir. The second word is prakriti, which is nothing but a personality. In Ayurveda, in various texts, the prakriti has been defined by using various contexts. That is, for example, the first word is samya. Prakriti is nothing but samya, which is also known as equilibrium, or it is known as arogya. That is nothing but your health, or it is nothing but swabhav, or your nature, or in common general terms, it can be called as constitution of a particular individual. Next slide, sir. Now, they're talking about manas prakruti. Manas means mind and prakriti means personality. So, what are the different psychological constitutions, or what is the different personality or prakriti in Ayurveda? In Ayurveda, the prakriti has been divided into two types. Basically, it's the dehic prakriti, that is also known as the physical constitution of an individual, and the other one is the manas, that is the psychological constitution of an individual. And both of these prakritis are genetically predetermined. Next slide, sir. There are two now. There are two different terms. One is the personality, and then the second is a personality trait. These two words, we are very much aware of the word personality, but what is the personality trait? Now, when we talk about personality, it's a combination of qualities or characteristics that form an individual's distinctive character, whereas a personality trait is a single quality, a distinguishing quality or character that is typically belonging to that person itself. Next slide, sir. Now, what defines the psychological constitution of an individual? What thing can determine? So, Manas Prakriti, or the psychological constitution of an individual, can be determined by the predominance of the three gunas. So, what are the three gunas? So, next slide, sir. So these are the three gunas. It is present in every individual nowadays. And accordingly, if there is a dominance of sattva, raj, these are the three gunas, that is sattva, rajas, and tamas. These are three gunas or three qualities of the mind or the psychological constitution. And every individual's manas prakriti or psychological constitution can be decided on the predominance of these three qualities. If a person is having a sattva quality, predominance of sattva qualities or sattva guna, then that kind of a person is a sattvic person. If he or she has the rajasic gunas in her, then that kind of a person is a rajasic, and likewise the tamasic personality. These three gunas, when we talk about sattva, rajas, and tamas guna, the sattva guna is the most, you can say it's a very good quality amongst all the three gunas, because it brings about balance and harmony. Whereas rajas and tamas are not that good in qualities, because rajas guna has got the people who have more of rajas guna in themselves, they always are have some desires in their mind, and they always run after something. So that is a negative. It is considered as a negative energy. And tamas is considered the least, you can say, among all the three, because the people who have more of the tamas guna in them, they are very lazy and they have more tendency of suffering from depression and etc. mental disorders. Next slide, sir. So, talking about the psychological constitution or the manas prakriti of the body, what are the factors that influence these manas prakriti of an individual? So, these are the factors amongst which diet and environment is also. Diet is nothing but whatever we eat, or our ahar, what we consume. Next slide, sir. Now in Ayurveda, there are three basic pillars of Ayurveda. Is first, it's the ahar, means what we consume. Second is nidra, that is your sleep, and third is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means how emotionally or spiritually are you connected to yourself. That is the meaning of the word brahmacharya over here. So these are the three pillars, and among which ahar or food is also one of the most important pillar of Ayurveda. Next slide, sir. Now, talking about the three gunas and psychological constitution, this psychological constitution is, as I said, is hampered by whatever diet are we taking. And these three gunas are also hampered by what kind of diet we intake, or what we eat. So there are there is a ahar or a diet that is known as Tri Gunatmak Ahar or diet, that also influence the psychological constitution of the body. And the reference of this Tri Gunatmak Ahar has been given by Lord Krishna as an advice to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. What he says, Lord Krishna tells that the importance of food and the type of food we eat has a direct effect on our mind and soul, and the choice of food reflects our personality. Next slide, sir. Sir, next slide, please. Thank you. So the reference of the Trigunatmaka Ahara, that is in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, is in the chapter 17, with the verses of the chapter are 8, 9, and 10. Next slide, sir. So this is the diet which I here you can see which they are categorized as a Sattvic Ahar, the Rajas Ahar, and the Tamas Ahar. The Sattvic food which you can see in the picture, it's all which is very raw, which is fresh, and the Rajas Ahar, it's more of an overcooked food or processed foods, and the Tamas, you can see the Tamas Ahar is you can see the carbonated and freezed products, which you can see here. Next slide, sir. Talking about the Sattvic food in the shlok that is given in Bhagavad Gita, they have defined it very clearly by saying that the food or the Sattvic food, it's always in the form of juice. Means you should consume the food in its raw form and in the form of juice. And the Sattvic food should always be mild, and it is always mild, and it's a bit oily in state, not much oilier, and it has got a very long lasting effect on our body. And it's also beneficial to the heart, stomach, and other organs as well. Next slide, sir. The benefits of Sattvic food has also been given in the shlok. They say that the Sattvic food has got an action that it increases the lifespan, that is Ayu. It is also brings about strength of the will. It gives physical strength, and it gives us freedom from disease. So here, when we see the two words, that is bala, that is nothing but the physical strength, and arogya, that is freedom from disease. These are synonyms to Vyadik Shamato, that is immunity. In short, Sattvic food is very important when we talk in terms of immunity. It boosts, it's a kind of an immune booster. Next slide, sir. The Rajasic food, when we talk about the Rajasic food, they have defined it very clearly. They have said that any food which is very bitter, very sour, very salty, and very hot, very spicy, means we talk about all the junk, in general, we can see all the junk foods, they are all spicy and salty, and such kind of food are categorized under Rajasic foods. Next slide, sir. The ill effects of Rajasic food is they have given it very clearly that it causes suffering and lamentation and disease. And now the word suffering here doesn't refer that that he is sad or what, but it refers that while eating it causes pain to the tongue, throat, and other organs. Next slide, sir. The last one is the Tamasic food. The Tamasic food, they have said that these kind of foods are stale, they are tasteless, and they are putrid. They can be decayed or refused food, and these foods are unclean. Means in modern world, you see Tamasic food, whenever we see food which are in the form of frozen foods. Now Tamasic food, when we see the Tamasic food, food should be consumed within the 3 hours after it's cooked. But food which is being consumed after 3 hours, foods which are canned, they are either frozen, they should not be eaten because they are considered as Tamasic food. Next slide, sir. So these are in short some examples of Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic food, where you can see the Tamasic food has been specified as stale and cooked after 3 hours, and rotten meat or seafood, which includes foul liquor as well. Next slide, sir. This is a pyramid in which you can see the food has been categorized. Next slide, sir. So in short, intake of Sattvic food as much as possible not only provides healthy body and mind, but it also is essential for the spiritual health as well, which has been defined by WHO. Next slide, sir. Now I come into some part of the modern aspect, that is Sattvic food and tryptophan. Now majority of the Sattvic food, that is more precisely I'm talking about the vegan or the vegetarian food, it provides a rich source of tryptophan, and it also protects the mucus lining of the gut. Now we'll see what is tryptophan. Next slide, sir. So what is tryptophan? It's an essential amino acid which cannot be produced by the human body, and it must be obtained through diet, primarily talking then plants or animal-based protein sources. It was firstly discovered in the early 1990s, of 1900s, after it was isolated from casein, a protein found in milk. Next slide, sir. Now, I have taken a reference of an article that was based on the effect of serotonin in the immune cells, and it was published by the you can say the Frontiers in Cardiovascular Medicine 2017 publication. Next slide, sir. So, as I said, tryptophan is an essential amino acid that cannot be built up by the body itself. So it's a building block of serotonin. Now, serotonin secretion in our body is very important. And how can the tryptophan be useful in the secretion of serotonin? Is whenever we are eating or consuming protein, which is a source of tryptophan, is not enough for our body to secrete serotonin. For that particular thing, it is responsible that eating carbohydrates with protein, it's a rich source of tryptophan, can increase the tryptophan to the brain, and it is then possible for tryptophan to cross the blood-brain barrier, which in turn synthesizes the serotonin, which plays a very key role in maintaining the immunity. Next slide, sir. So serotonin and immunity, we know serotonin, it's almost all immune cells express at least one serotonin component, and serotonin has got an immune regulatory effect derived from non-neuronal sources. It has shown to exert functions in innate and adaptive immunity as well. Next slide, sir. Now, sattvic food, when we talk about the sattvic food, it does not irritate the gut mucosa and maintains the release of peripheral serotonin. Now, there are some cells in the intestinal mucosa, that is enterochromaffin cells, that are residing along the epithelium lining of the digestive tract. And these cells are responsible for the secretion of peripheral serotonin, as also there are some gut microbes that help in the release of serotonin, and that is about 80% of serotonin. And if in any case we are consuming the type of ahar that is tamasic or rajasic ahar, it will somehow irritate the lining of the intestinal mucosa, which will lead to the decrease in the secretion of the serotonin, or decrease in these microbes. Next slide, sir. So this is the last slide of mine, in which you can see this picture. It shows that in the chariot of body, now this whole picture is depicting our body. In this picture, the chariot is the body, which has 5 horses. The 5 horses here are representing our senses, that is our tongue, eyes, ears, nose, skin. Then the rein here, the driving instrument, is our mind, and the driver is the intelligence, and the passenger is ourself, that is us. So what they have said is the manager should use their intelligence to control the mind, and then should not let the mind to be controlled by the senses. In short, is what I want to say, that as much as we can control our mind and try to consume more of sattvic food, it will indirectly affect our mental health, which will eventually help in maintaining our immunity or immune system. Thank you, sir.